Well, good morning, Keloland. I'm meteorologist Scott Munt. Areas of frost not only for this morning, but we may go through this again for tomorrow morning. Temperatures this morning down to 25 now in Phillip. We have 35 in Pierre, 32 in Huron, 31 Watertown, holding to 48 degrees in Sioux Falls. Temperatures near 60 today. We'll go mostly sunny to partly cloudy. A slight chance for a shower across western South Dakota. I'll have more details on the Keloland Live Doppler forecast coming up as we continue with Keloland this morning.
Live from Keloland Media Group, Keloland This Morning.
Just ahead, what federal charges for former Minneapolis police officers are facing nearly a year after the death of George Floyd.
And how the USPS is looking to reduce the number of dog bites with a program launched in South Dakota. Those details coming up.
Good morning and welcome to Keloland This Morning. I'm Sophie Heineman.
And I'm Travis Fossing. Weeks after Derek Chauvin's guilty murder verdict, there are federal charges for all 4 ex-Minneapolis police officers that have the potential for life sentences. The 4-page charging document alleges Derek Chauvin used unreasonable force pinning Floyd to the ground even after he became unresponsive.
And it accuses all 4 of failing to give George Floyd medical aid when he clearly needed it. A transcript reveals that the government doesn't plan to keep them in custody while they wait for their trial.
2 people died in Sioux Falls at the scene of a Saturday night car crash. A news release from the city tells us that officers went to East Arrowhead Parkway and South Highline Avenue, which is close to Dolly Farm Village, just before midnight after a crash.
2 vehicles had crashed into each other in this intersection. Investigators say speed appears to be a factor in the crash. Multiple passengers from both vehicles were taken to the hospital with severe injuries. Federal authorities say a Wabe woman accused of stealing money from an American Indian agency has been sentenced to more than 2 years in prison. 53-year-old Don Block pled guilty earlier to program theft.
Authorities say the embezzlement occurred while she was acting director for the United Sioux Tribes of South Dakota Development Corps from October 2018 to May 2019. A judge ordered Block to serve 27 months in prison and 3 years of supervised release.
She must also pay back more than $222,000. Block allegedly took payroll advances, cash withdrawals, awards and bonuses, duplicate pay, and unsupported payments.
After seeing some rain over the weekend, the work week starts with sunshine. Let's check the forecast with meteorologist Scott Munt. Good morning, Scott.
Well, good morning there, Travis. Sunshine and cooler, even cold temperatures this morning as we do at Phillip down to 25. We're at 32 degrees in Huron, 35 in Brookings, but a warm 45 in Sioux Falls as we do have thicker clouds in parts of southeastern Keloland, and with that maybe an isolated shower or 2 trying to run across Minnesota and northwestern Iowa. And the areas of frost this morning, we'll go through that again for tonight going into tomorrow morning, and then these overnight lows will start to warm, and the weekend is also looking warm. Slight chance maybe at a couple of showers, and that's something we'll continue to monitor as we warm the atmosphere up. These warming temperatures coming in as we go through the week. We also introduce a chance for some moisture. 50s and 60s for highs today. We'll go mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Northeastern South Dakota, more or less the same thing. Afternoon highs near 60 with a light wind. Central and western South Dakota, looks like we'll have our temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Slight chance for showers across the hills of western South Dakota. I'll have more details on the Keloland Live Doppler forecast coming up.
Thanks, Scott. Avera Health is equipping medical workers with new skills to use out in the field. Keloland's Max Hofer shares how. Good morning, Max.
Good morning, Sophie. Avera's Helmsley Telehealth Education Center was designed to host educational courses for those working in the medical field. Richard Kreese is a paramedic from Estherville, Iowa, and he's partaking in their difficult airway course. It's teaching him how to put a breathing tube in a person's trachea.
It's a fantastic course. Every time, this is my second time I've been out here doing it, and I learned something every time.
He's one of 75 medical workers from around the region who is utilizing this resource. Now, in the next half hour, we'll get a closer look at the course and how others can get this opportunity.
Thanks a lot, Max. Letter carriers across the country suffered thousands of dog bites in 2020. That's what a USPS program aims to prevent. The Dog Paw program first launched in the Dakotas and Montana in November, and now the rollout continues. Carriers place a yellow or orange sticker to remind them of dogs nearby or at an address. Letter carrier Janet Ham has experienced 2 dog bites in her career, although she says they didn't break the skin.
Yeah, you just get a little nervous, heart rate starts beating a little faster, and needless to say, I'm not a dog lover, but I think that's just part of the job.
Some Sioux Falls area residents are receiving postcards alerting them of the program.
Northwestern will play Lindsey Wilson tonight for the NAIA National Football Championship after the Red Raiders stunned top-seeded Morningside in the semifinals. NAIA Player of the Year Tyson Koima tossed the game-winning touchdown to Michael Storley with 16 seconds left in the game to send the Red Raiders to the national championship. But on the play, Koima suffered an injury that will keep him out of tonight's national title game. Blake Fryer will take his place. Northwestern and Lindsey Wilson will play for the title tonight. Kickoff is set for 6 o'clock. It is now 6 minutes after the hour, and still to come in this half hour of Keloland This Morning, Scott will have an extended look at today's forecast. And still ahead, we'll show you the bond between a rescue dog and their adopter. It's a hard one to break. That's ahead on Keloland This Morning.
Welcome back. How can you repay someone who gave you a new chance at life?
How about returning the favor? Here's one man's story with CBS's Steve Hartman on the road.
Oh, what a great story.
Amazing story, and a lot of love there between those two.
Yes, there is. Scott, does it make you miss your dog?
Oh, of course. Yeah. It's always fun to see him first thing in the morning. You know, when I have this break in between shows, in the morning show and midday, I run back, see how he's doing. He comes out of his crate, and yeah, he's happy to see me, tail wagging and everything.
He jump on you just like that?
Not quite like that. I go down to the floor, so he doesn't have to.
Let's hope Cooper doesn't get to 100 pounds, though.
No, gosh, if he does, he won't be moving like that dog. No. That's for sure. But yeah, it's a great story and yeah, a great outcome with that too. Well, this morning, if you're out walking the dog, I think you're okay. There may be a couple of isolated sprinkles here and there across Minnesota, northwestern Iowa. These are moving to the east and to the southeast this morning, remaining very, very light as they do if they're even hitting the ground. As you see, temperatures this morning are in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. We have 45 degrees in Sioux Falls, 43 in Yankton, 37 Mitchell, 32 in Huron and in Aberdeen. So patchy frost across parts of eastern South Dakota. And then Philip stands out at 25 this morning. Winds are light, and they will remain light as we do go through the day today. As we look at Futurecast, we'll go mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Thicker clouds, though, in the central and western South Dakota. And we'll watch for these isolated showers that may develop during the afternoon, evening, for the hills of western Keloland. We have it in the forecast maybe at 20%. Clearing skies this evening. That trend will continue tonight. And then for tomorrow, areas of frost for just about everybody. Numbers will fall to the low to middle 30s. We'll have clearing skies and light winds. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Temperatures will be a couple of degrees warmer here and there, but still slightly below average. And then as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, these temperatures will continue to warm. And I think this next slide I have showing gives us the moisture and the energy that may be available in the atmosphere as we do go through the week. You see how a lot of this is shoved to the south as we begin the work week. But that will change as we go toward maybe Friday and into this coming weekend. You start to see some of that moisture expand maybe to the north, and along with it, we do have some of the energy that's available. That's what you see these contour lines with, trying to show us where we do have some energy available in the atmosphere. This is on Friday. And Friday, we do have that slight chance maybe for a shower, and then we'll continue those chances as we do go into this coming weekend. And even for next week, it's showing that moisture stays across central, maybe even the northern plains, and along with it, we'll have to watch the energy that's available too. So that's why as we go even beyond the weekend, we'll continue maybe the scattered chances of showers or even a couple of thunderstorms. Looks like a lot of energy next week. Well, to our south, they can see some severe weather probably, according to this model, early next week. Well, for today, we'll go mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s, 57 degrees today in Brookings. We'll have a high of 61 in Sioux Falls, 64 in Yankton, 58 degrees in Aberdeen, 61 in Pierre, and 56 in Rapid City. Lower 30s for tonight. Areas of frost, central, eastern Keloland, and a forecast for tomorrow showing mostly sunny skies. Temperatures will be a couple of degrees warmer. Expect highs in the 50s and 60s. We'll continue with light winds, this time from the southeast, at 5 to 15 miles per hour. And this is your 7-day forecast. Notice that we do have warming temperatures as we go over the next several days. And along with that, we'll have to watch for that chance for rain. As we get into Friday and Saturday right now, it looks to be around a 20% chance for a couple of scattered showers, and we'll have to see if we get an isolated thunder shower to go. That's a quick look at Keloland Live Doppler forecast. We'll have more details coming up closer to the bottom of the hour.
Good morning, Keloland. It's now 17 after the hour. We'll get to today's top business news in just a moment, but first, just over a third of the U.S. population is now fully vaccinated against the coronavirus, but 14 states have less than 40% of their populations partially vaccinated, with Mississippi at the bottom. This comes as more states turn down doses. Wisconsin asking for just 8% of its federal allocation, Illinois 9%, and Kansas under 9%. Colorado authorities say a gunman opened fire at a birthday party, killing 6 adults and himself. The suspected shooter was the boyfriend of a female victim. Police say a motive wasn't immediately known. And Medina Spirit, the horse that won the Kentucky Derby, has failed a drug test. Trainer Bob Baffert, to disclose the result, denied all wrongdoing. He promised to be fully transparent with the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission during its investigation. If the horse fails a second test, it could be disqualified.
Airlines continue to see an increase in travel, and how one company is giving you a way to donate your old toys. Diane Kangal has those stories and more in this morning's Money Watch.
Stocks swung higher on Friday as investors continued to place bets on the economic reopening. The Dow rallied 229 points, the Nasdaq rose 119, and the S&P 500 added 30. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce wants Washington to immediately stop paying people who are out of work an extra $300 in unemployment benefits. The business lobby says the boost in government aid is giving some recipients less incentive to look for work. It also says about 1 in 4 recipients are taking home more in unemployment pay than what they earned when they were employed. A rising number of travelers took to the skies this Mother's Day weekend. More than 1.7 million people were screened at airports around the nation on Friday. That's the busiest day for air travel since last March when the pandemic began. The TSA says crowds at airports are still down 40% in April and May compared to that same time period in 2019. And Mother's Day might be over, but moms can still rejoice for National Clean Up Your Room Day today. To help rooms spruce up, Mattel is launching a toy take-back program dubbed Mattel Playback. Spring cleaners can recycle their outgrown toys by printing a free shipping label and sending them away for reuse. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Diane Kinghall.
When we come back, meteorologist Scott Munt will join us with an extended look at the forecast and a unique site to get a COVID-19 vaccine for those in Transylvania. You're watching Keloland This Morning.
Welcome back. Visitors to Dracula's castle in Romania are more likely to find puncture marks in their arms than their necks this month after medics set up a COVID-19 vaccination center at the Transylvanian attraction. Doctors and nurses with fang stickers on their scrubs are giving vaccines to anyone that come to the 14th century Bran Castle, purported to be an inspiration for the vampire's towering home in Bram Stoker's novel Dracula. One of the visitors was more than happy with his experience.
And I was already planning to come to Brasov to come to the castle, and I just thought it was a 2-for-1 special. You know, I could go and see the castle for free and at the same time get vaccinated. It was a dream come true. A dream come true. What an interesting spot to get your vaccine.
Well, yeah, if you're going to get your vaccine, why not do it at a castle like that?
Why not with a view, Scott? What do you think?
Well, we were talking about this during the break, and I was thinking they could have the nurses wear the fangs and have the vaccine in the fangs. And
why not?
The neck, maybe, I don't know. Travis brought up you get both doses at once.
Might not be the safest way to go about it.
Yeah, probably not. How do I come up with these ideas? Well, trying to come up with some rain as a drought monitor. Now, this came out Thursday morning. We'll continue to show this as we do go through the summer months, but still with that extreme category there across north central and northwestern South Dakota. As we expand the view here, very dry well to our southwest, and we're starting to see some increase in moisture into those areas, and it's something that we will continue to watch too as we do go over the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, this is the next 10-day rainfall forecast. Notice in Colorado, we are looking at some rain snow chances there. We are looking at late week rain chances, mainly across eastern and southeastern South Dakota, and then even going into early next week. You will notice when we get to the 7-day forecast, temperatures do start to warm, probably back to the 70s as we hit this weekend, and along with it, we'll have an increase in moisture, maybe a couple of stray showers trying to move across southwestern Minnesota for this morning. Anything that falls, hits the ground, will remain very, very light, and I think this will be it for our rain chance in the east and southeast for today. Temperature at 45 degrees in Sioux Falls, 37 Mitchell, 32 in Huron, 32 degrees in Aberdeen, 35 in Pierre, and 35 in Rapid City. Our winds are light at around 5 to 10 miles per hour for this morning. As we look at Futurecast, we are going with a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky. Slight chance for showers across western South Dakota, especially into the hills, or maybe a light snow shower or two. By this evening and tonight, we'll go with clearing skies, areas of frost as temperatures fall to the low to middle 30s. I'll tell you right now, I'm starting my garden this week after tomorrow morning. I think that's the plan at the Munt House, is to start that garden, because I think the frost chances really go down after tomorrow morning. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, mostly sunny, temperatures a little warmer, low to middle 60s. And then as we go into your Wednesday morning, we have a southerly wind to keep our temperatures up during the overnight. And then during the day, the numbers will continue to be a little bit warmer than the day before. And I think that will continue as we do go into Friday, Saturday, as these temperatures return to the 70s for highs. Up to 61 today in Sioux Falls, 64 degrees in Yankton. We have 62 today in Mitchell, 58 Aberdeen, 57 in Watertown, 61 in Pierre, and 56 with thicker clouds in the western South Dakota. 56 are going high in Rapid City, slight chance for showers. Temperatures tonight will fall to the low to middle 30s, so patchy frost is possible. And then for tomorrow, temperatures in the low to middle 60s. We'll go mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies during the day, high of 55 in Rapid City, slight chance for showers. 7-day forecast looks like we have our temperatures returning to the 70s by Friday. Slight chance for showers that day as well. We'll continue to watch this increase in moisture as we do go through the week. Into northeastern South Dakota, temperatures in the middle to upper 60s Wednesday, Thursday. We'll see what we can do about getting some rain going Friday and Saturday. Right now it's at 20%, but according to a couple of the graphics I already showed you this morning, we do have other chances next week at showers and thunderstorms. In central South Dakota, temperatures do warm to near 70 on Thursday. If we don't hit 70 on Thursday, we have 71 in our forecast for Friday. Watching the rain chances for this coming weekend. And western South Dakota, temperatures near 70 Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, low to middle 70s, as we have the 20 to 30% chance for rain. That's a look at your Kelo Land Live Doppler forecast. Well, good morning, Kelo Land. I'm meteorologist Scott Muntz. This is Forecast First, and we continue to watch areas of frost this morning with temperatures in the 20s and 30s and mostly clear skies overhead. Aside for southeastern Kelo Land, where we do have some cloud cover, temperatures are a little warmer. Numbers are in the low to middle 40s in southeastern South Dakota. So we'll go with highs near 60 today. Slight chance for a shower in western South Dakota. I'll have more details on the Kelo Land Live Doppler forecast coming up as we continue with Kelo Land this morning.
Live from Kelo Land Media Group, Kelo Land This Morning.
Just ahead, we'll tell you about a special birthday reunion that was much different than the year before.
It's an intensive, long day, but they get a really valuable skill set.
A special course through Avera is improving skills for medical workers. Kelo Land's Max Hofer has that story coming up. Good morning and welcome to Keloland this morning.
Thanks for waking up with us. A 100-year-old hero celebrated his milestone birthday with family in Sioux Falls Saturday. The party took place in the Tuthill Park neighborhood for World War II veteran Tom Weber.
We first introduced you to Tom last year when he celebrated his socially distant 99th birthday. But over the weekend, he was able to celebrate his centennial with family, hugs, cake, and, of course, a song.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tom. Happy birthday to you.
Weber served in the Navy during World War II.
And he looks incredible for 100. Happy birthday to him.
Absolutely does, and excited to celebrate a birthday.
Yes, well, Sunday brought the last two graduation ceremonies of the year for students at SDSU, and it brought an especially unique moment for a couple of graduates from the College of Nursing.
Mother and daughter, Gabrielle and Maddie Miller, each graduated with a nursing degree together on Mother's Day.
A long, long road, lots of hard work, late study nights, and perfect timing.
Yeah, we were both at a crossroads in our lives where we were making decisions about our futures, and I wanted to go back to school, and she was already in college and questioning which direction she wanted to go, and we kind of simultaneously came up with nursing, and I was still kind of kicking it around, and she looked at me and she said, "If you go, I'll go." And like a week later, I was enrolled in college doing my pre-nursing courses.
Gabrielle will now work at Monument Health, while Maddie has accepted a nursing position in Missouri. Congrats to them.
Yeah, such a cool story. Well, turning to weather now, a dry start to the work week. How long will the sunshine stick around, Scott?
Well, it looks like it'll stick around through much of the work week. We'll watch for increasing temperatures, too, and along with it, the moisture will start to go up. And then at the end of
Finished her last round of chemo and will soon undergo her first of 3 surgeries.
After a pair of losses in its first 2 national semifinal appearances in 2017 and 18, SDSU
Central and Western Keloland, you can expect temperatures here in the 50s and 60s. Slight chance for showers across western South Dakota this afternoon. More details on the Keloland Live Doppler forecast coming up.
Thanks, Scott. Saturday's Vcr Race Against Cancer was a virtual event this year because of the pandemic, but some people wanted to come together for the event at Patrick Henry Middle School in Sioux Falls. That's because Tresha Jacobson, a teacher at the school, is currently fighting her own battle with breast cancer. So her friends, family, coworkers, and students showed up to support her by walking around the track.
I think here at Patrick Henry, the concept of no one fights alone goes beyond cancer. It goes with you could be suffering a death in the family, or maybe a divorce, or any type of sickness, a bullying situation, and we just want everyone to know that while you're under our roof, we're family, and no one's in this alone.
Jacobson just recently finished her last round of chemo and will soon undergo her first of 3 surgeries.
After a pair of losses in its first 2 national semifinal appearances in 2017 and 18, SDSU made history this weekend by advancing to the FCS National Championship game for the first time in program history. After coming from behind to beat Southern Illinois a week earlier, the Jacks played great football from the opening quarter on Saturday. They trailed early, but a 30-yard touchdown pass from Gronowski to Yankee gave State the lead, and they'd never give it up. Gronowski was 10 of 16 for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns, and also added a receiving touchdown on a pass from Pierre Strong Jr. Strong and Isaiah Davis combined for 143 yards on the ground, and the defense was stellar, sacking the opposing quarterback 7 times to set a school record. It was a complete team effort start to finish.
You know, when you say you want to win a national championship or that's one of your goals, you need to get to Frisco to be able to have a shot at that. So to me, it's a step in that the goal we have as a program. What I hope and what I expect and what I'm gonna demand is that we're not giddy about getting there, but we're excited about the opportunity to win a national championship. And we approach it with a mature approach and a real focused approach. And I think our guys will do that. Again, our leadership is phenomenal.
I'm so happy for Coach Sig. You know, he's put in so much work for us, and he loves us all to death. And 14 years of being eligible for the FCS playoffs, and we finally did it to head to Frisco for Stig. And, you know, I just couldn't be happier. We just got one more. We got to do it for him.
The Jacks will meet Sam Houston State in Frisco, Texas for all the marbles next Sunday at 1 p.m.
When we come back, Scott will join us with a look at the forecast. But first, let's send it over to Gail King in Studio 57 in New York to find out what's coming up on CBS This Morning.
Good morning to you. Ahead only on CBS This Morning, former First Lady Michelle Obama. We discuss the challenges facing America, including the impact of the pandemic on people's mental health and concern for her own family during these racially and politically divided times. Plus, her mission to ensure that all families, hear that, all families have access to healthy food. Go Michelle Obama. Also, cyber criminals force the shutdown of a major U.S. fuel pipeline, how Russians may be involved in that, and what's being done to restore the service. And Angelina Jolie talks to Vlad about her new movie and balancing work with motherhood during the pandemic. We'll see you 7 o'clock on the dot.
Well, good morning, Keloland. Thank you for joining us this morning. It looks like temperatures today will be cool. Numbers probably in the 50s and 60s for afternoon highs. And this will happen with mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. But our numbers will warm over the next couple of days. And going into this weekend, we'll have our temperatures return to the 70s. Now, as the numbers do warm to the 70s, we'll also bring in a little more moisture to work with. And we do have chances at rain late this week, going into the weekend, and even early next week. As the warm temperatures stick around, we'll have a little bit more moisture available. It's all a matter of just finding a trigger in the atmosphere to help bring in the shower and thunderstorm chances. So that's something we'll continue to watch. In the meantime, go ahead and enjoy the above average temperatures once they get here. We'll slowly get out of the below average numbers. You can see our rainfall forecast here over the next week and a half. It starts to go up in eastern and southeastern Keloland, mainly for the late this week, this weekend, and early next week. Probably our best chances of seeing anything. Anything that falls in the meantime will remain light if we get a shower at all. Temperatures this morning, we have 25 in Phillip, 32 in Huron, 35 degrees in Brookings. We have 32 in Aberdeen. So we can have some patchy frost parts of eastern and northeastern South Dakota, as well as the plains of western Keloland with Phillip at 25. But it's a warm 45 in Sioux Falls. North to northwest winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour this morning. They'll remain light as we go through the day. And futurecast showing mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Slight chance of a shower, maybe even a form of snow for the higher elevations of the hills in the western South Dakota. Otherwise, dry skies today, central and eastern Keloland. Clearing tonight, areas of frost as we fall to the low to middle 30s. And then for tomorrow, another mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky to cover eastern Keloland. Once again, the clouds will be a little thicker here across western South Dakota, and temperatures will be slightly warmer than the numbers we'll have today. Now, speaking of those numbers, we are in the 50s and 60s for highs. 61 degrees in Sioux Falls, 57 in Brookings, and in Watertown, 58 in Aberdeen, 61 in Pierre, 61 in Chamberlain, 56 in Rapid City, and you see numbers near 60 into western and southwestern Minnesota. Tonight, temperatures will fall to the low to middle 30s. That happens with clear skies and light winds, so areas of frost will be possible. And then tomorrow, you can expect temperatures in the 50s into western South Dakota, low to middle 60s for just about everybody else, and that 7-day forecast. Looks like we'll have our temperatures warming. Along with that, we'll have an increase in moisture, and we'll watch for the live Doppler forecast.
A training course through Avera is continuing education for medical professionals around the region. In this morning's Health Beat, Keloland's Max Hofer shows you how. Good morning, Max.
Good morning, Travis. Now, Avera is inviting medical workers to their Helmsley Telehealth Education Center. The center is a space for them to learn new skills that could save people's lives. Richard Kreese is from Esterville, Iowa. He served as an EMT for 23 years and now works as a paramedic.
We probably average 2 calls a day.
He's one of 75 medical professionals taking an airway course at Avera's Helmsley Telehealth Education Center.
Anything that helps my skills to betterment my patients is what I need to do.
The course is open to medical professionals in rural areas around the region.
People can't get away for 3 or 4 days from their small towns. They can come here and in one day get a focused course that teaches them an approach to managing the airway, putting a breathing tube in the trachea.
Some of the meds that it takes to get somebody intubated without them waking up while they're intubated.
They split up into teams where one group gets to see the procedure from the telehealth side and the other gets a hands-on approach. Instructor Luke Van Overen says that the smaller communities don't have the resources to learn these techniques.
It's something difficult. It's something that is very nerve-wracking for people who don't do it very often. And these are sick patients. You're not prepared. You don't know they're coming.
It's going to help us to get that patient in a good enough place that once we get them into our ER, that this type of thing can already be in place for them.
Kreese also says with the medical practices constantly evolving, it's a good way to stay up to date.
So ultimately, I truly believe that this kind of work hopefully will, in the future, save a life and get someone intubated that maybe wouldn't have otherwise.
Now, for more information on how to register for a course, just click the link under this story at keloland.com.
Thank you, Max. Still to come on Keloland this morning, what the U.S. Postal Service is doing in South Dakota to reduce the number of dog bites, and how volunteers are upkeeping trails in the Black Hills. That headline and more before you head out the door.
Good morning, Keloland. It's now 10 minutes ahead of the hour. We'll get to today's top stories in just a moment, but first, let's send it over to meteorologist Scott Munt for a check on your morning forecast.
All right, good morning, everybody. Downtown live cam showing mostly clear skies, and it looks like as we do go through this week, temperatures will slowly warm. We are looking at numbers to eventually return probably to the upper 60s and 70s as we hit late this week. Our temperatures right now, well, looks like we do have our numbers that are in the 30s across a good portion of the area, but we're coming in at 25 in Phillip, while it's 45 in Sioux Falls. And we do have mostly clear skies, aside from maybe, looks like northwestern Iowa right now, with some cloud cover moving through. So we'll go mostly sunny to partly cloudy for today. Temperatures in the 50s and lower 60s, a light north wind at 5 to 15. Northeastern South Dakota, temperatures near 60. We'll have a high of 58 in Aberdeen, 61 in Huron. Central and western South Dakota, temperatures here in the 50s and 60s. More details on the Keloland Live Doppler forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. Sioux Falls police are investigating a weekend crash that killed 2 people on the city's east side. 2 vehicles crashed just before midnight on Saturday at East Arrowhead Parkway and Highline Avenue by Dolly Farm Village. Police say that 2 people who died were in the same vehicle. Multiple passengers from both vehicles were taken to the hospital with severe injuries. Investigators say speed appears to be a factor in the crash. The area was closed to traffic well into Sunday morning as authorities worked the scene.
Weeks after Derek Chauvin's guilty murder verdict, there are federal charges for all 4 ex-Minneapolis police officers that have the potential for life sentences. The 4-page charging document alleges Derek Chauvin used unreasonable force, pinning Floyd to the ground even after he became unresponsive. And it accuses all 4 of failing to give Floyd medical aid when he clearly needed it. A transcript reveals that the government doesn't plan to keep them in custody while they wait for their trial.
A top U.S. pipeline company has now reopened some smaller lines following a ransomware attack that had it shut down its entire system. Officials say the federal government is planning for various scenarios and working with Georgia authorities on measures to ease any potential supply issues. The Colonial Pipeline carries fuel across the East Coast, supplying 45% of the region's fuel. Industry experts say the cyber attack is unlikely to affect gasoline supply and prices unless it leads to a prolonged shutdown. Ford is recalling more than 660,000 Explorers. Regulators say retention pins could loosen, causing the roof rail covers to detach from the vehicle. There have been at least 11 incidents since early 2020. Ford is not aware of any injuries. The recall covers 2016 through 2019 model years.
A program is looking to help keep letter carriers safe from dog bites. The Dog Paw program through the USPS first launched in the Dakotas and Montana in November, and now the rollout continues. Carriers place a yellow or orange sticker to remind them of dogs nearby or at an address. Letter carrier Janet Ham has experienced 2 dog bites in her career, although she says they didn't break the skin.
Yeah, you just get a little nervous, heart rate starts beating a little faster, and needless to say, I'm not a dog lover, but I think that's just part of the job.
Some Sioux Falls area residents are receiving postcards alerting them of the program. Volunteers are working with the Black Hills National Forest to keep the trail system safe for both ATVs and hikers. Off-roading is a popular activity in the Black Hills, and the group is working to improve maintenance on the trails as well as make it clear to off-roaders where they can and cannot go.
The Forest Service has used volunteers for, probably since the beginning, for many, many years, and it's no different with the motorized trails. Our volunteers are very passionate about the trail system. They're very passionate about teaching people to be responsible and respectful when they're out on the trails.
The Off-Highway Vehicle Action Team is made up of 10 volunteers from across the Black Hills region.
The Food and Drug Administration is expected to authorize the emergency use of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for 12 to 15-year-old kids sometime this week. Right now, only people 16 years and older are able to get a COVID-19 vaccine. But Pfizer has sent data to the FDA from clinical trials they held to make sure their vaccine was safe for 12 to 15-year-olds. We spoke with pediatricians from both Sanford Health and a Medical group about getting the younger teen population vaccinated. They say that although that age group can have mild symptoms if infected with the coronavirus, some have prolonged issues.
I think to lower the number of people that have the illness or that have the virus, it's a good idea for adolescents to get it as soon as it comes out.
Dr. Rick Koima with the Medical group says the more people get vaccinated, the sooner the country can reach herd immunity. While restrictions are soon to end and a majority of Minnesotans 16 and older have now at least gotten 1 vaccine shot, many graduation ceremonies are not happening in person this year. But graduates from the Mortuary Science program at the University of Minnesota Medical School celebrated together Friday. Instead of celebrating in an auditorium or a football field, they gathered at the Lakewood Cemetery in Minneapolis. The reason to highlight the impact of COVID-19. In all, 19 students from the class of 2020 and 28 students from the class of 2021 received degrees.
4 graduation ceremonies were scheduled at SDSU over the weekend, with the last taking place Sunday afternoon. Normally, the ceremonies are held inside Frost Arena, but this year they were moved outdoors because of the pandemic. They were supposed to take place at Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium, but they were moved to the College Green because of the FCS semifinal football game. SDSU event coordinator Jamison Lamb said everything came together in a short time.
When you move to a new venue in under 3 weeks, there's a lot of unknowns, and so everyone has really rolled with that incredibly well. We've tried to communicate with our students and families, the expectations that we have and, the plans moving forward, and it seems that for the most part, that communication has worked.
Lamb said the backup venue was Frost Arena had there been inclement weather.
Northwestern will play Lindsey Wilson tonight for the NAIA National Football Championship after the Red Raiders stunned top-seeded Morningside in the semifinals. NAIA Player of the Year Tyson Koima tossed the game-winning touchdown to Michael Storley with 16 seconds left in the game, sending the Red Raiders to the national championship. But on the play, Koima suffered an injury that will keep him out of tonight's national title game. Blake Fryer will take his place. Northwestern and Lindsey Wilson will play tonight for the NAIA National Championship. Kickoff is set for 6 o'clock. Scott?
And in weather, we are waking up to temperatures that are in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. 40s across southeastern South Dakota. Some cloud cover overhead. Those clouds will continue to move to the southeast, and we'll have mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies for this afternoon, and our winds will remain light. Now, you can see west.